Hello, Namaste. So, we have covered the first chapter, you know, writing with pictures. We have already covered this chapter, and now we are moving further. Now, we will read the chapter 2, Stories for Human. And I'm excited with this because in this chapter, we're gonna learn about character designing, facial expressions, and body language. And it will, you know, help you when you will make a comic. Definitely it's necessary. You should have ideas about character designing, facial expression, and body language, right? So yeah, let's get started without any further ado. So for most of us in the animal kingdom, it still takes two to create new life, and creating new lives through comics is no different. Okay, let me read again. For most of us in the animal kingdom, it still takes two to create new life, and creating new lives through comics is no different, right? Yeah, right. You provide the shapes, lines, and colors of your chosen art, and the reader provides the human experience needed to breathe life into them. But they can't be just any shapes, lines, and colors. They need to include just a few key elements that will trigger recognition in your readers. Starting with one of the most basic visual qualities that mark all living things and separate us from the non living world. So, yeah, starting with one of the most basic visual qualities that mark all living things and separate us from the non living world, our symmetry. Symmetry is life's calling card, the way we have learned to recognize each others in the wild. It's that bit of ourselves that breeds affections when we see it in our nearer relatives, and makes us uneasy when we see it in our more distant one. It's the key ingredient that says, yes, this is an animal like me, this is living thing, even when nothing could be further from the truth. The kind of symmetry your readers will be looking for is called bilateral symmetry, where the left and right are mirror images. Okay, so the kind of symmetry your readers will be looking for is called bilateral symmetry, where left and right are mirror images. Our locomotion is at our base, and our navigational gear, including two eyes for depth perceptions, are at the top to get a better vantage point. It's a good design, you know. As you can see here in every drawing, you can see here, if you will draw a line here, let me show you. Let's say if I will draw a line here and assume it is a mirror, so you can see the left side of this hip hop and the other side of this hip hop are mirror image of each other, right? So that is called bilateral symmetry, the author is saying. Okay, no matter how abstract or stylized a piece of art is, if it is displays that basic arrangement, humans will see themselves in its features. Okay, in fact, even when a set of lines is so spare that it could as easily describe and say a bear or a fish, they will still see a human if they can. Humans love humans. They can't get enough of themselves. They crave the company of humans. They value the opinions of humans. And they love hearing stories about humans. Definitely. So basically, when you will see wherever you are right now, if you will see, the most of the time you are affected by the people, not by the animal, not by the material, the most of the time the your feelings are connected with the humans. So I thought, I have some philosophical thinking, so I thought we are human and we are very connected towards humans. Like uh, if you are if you are happy, okay, and if you are being sad or if you are being happy, that is happening just because of the human, not because of the animal, right? So no animals will gonna abuse you, right? The human, if the human gonna abuse you, that means you will feel and you will feel bad, right? So that is why the humans are very connected with the humans, right? I am connected with you and you are connected with me. If you will appreciate me, then definitely I will feel happy, right? And I'll appreciate you, maybe you will feel also happy. So that is why we are very connected with the human, not with the animal, not with the object, Godrej and TV and movies. We are not very connected. But in the when will you see the movie also, you are feeling connected when with the movies, not with the movies. Actually, you are connected with the character, whoever the character in that movie. So that is why when we will make some comics, in that comics we will try to convey our story with the feelings, so that it will be interesting, it will be interesting. And also the readers will uh, want, right? They will also want that if we will talk on humanity, so they will be interested, right? So that is what the author is saying, and they love hearing stories about humans. In fact, they love such stories so much they will make one up from the slightest hint. Even the loosest scribble will suggest a figure, an emotion, or a gesture. Yeah. So what I thought, uh, you can see, uh, lots of comics are in market and lots of books are in market that is made. You can see also if they are have you ever about the story rabbit and uh, kachuas? It is in Hindi kachua. So have you ever heard about this? Also they are adding in animals feeling, right? Even they have not much feeling like humans, but we want to uh, make something better for readers. That's why we are trying to add some feelings in the animals, that's why we are doing this. In short, creating a human being in the mind of the reader is easy. Just a few lines is all it takes, and your readers will do the rest. Right. But if you want them to see a specific persons with a specific appearance and specific hopes and dreams, that will take a few extra steps. Definitely. So if you want to convey the story, I was thinking, if I want to convey the story, what can I do? Whether I can go in a very detail and I can make my character in a very detail, their clothes, their eyes, their mouths, their hairs, right? I can go in the detail, but it will take a lot of time. And also, when what can I do? Just I can draw like these type of stick man, and a simple character, simple as I can. I will draw a simple character that will also indicate a person's that is saying something. If I will add some bubble and I will write there something, let's say I'm making a person, okay, and he's saying hi. So as you can see the character here, you will definitely, it is not like this one. You can see how it is beautiful and how it is in detail, right? But it is not. But also, when I will make this one and I will write here something like, if he's thinking something, okay, and also she's thinking something, in both of the cases the readers will be able to uh, know about what is happening actually in this panel, right? In both of them, both of the cases, right? But what actually the difference? Yeah, there are lots of difference, it is in the very detail and how beautiful it is, and that is art, right? But it is not. So that's why the author is saying, but if you want them to see a specific person with a specific appearance and a specific hopes and dreams, that will take a few extra steps, and definitely it will take a lot time. In this chapter I will talk about, in this chapter I will talk about three such measures you can take to bring your drawings to life as vivid, believable human beings. Character designing, how to create characters with distinction and personality. So first of all, uh, the author wants to say us, first we will learn about character designing, and that is what it is interesting, So when I started character design, first of all I picked a book. The book name was Unreal Loomis, Fun with the Picture. That was something name I forgot right now, but uh, 6 months ago I started that book, and I finished that book, and that was really awesome. You can start with that. So that is how I'm still struggling with the character designing, and still I don't much uh, idea, and I don't have much practice about the character designing, so that I can't make beautiful character, right, as I want. Right now I can't, but still it is, I have improved myself, and now I can design a character, but not in perspective, in every perspective. So right now I'm practicing with myself, and I'm trying to do every day, but I'm not doing this. So it is very necessary, you should give the time, and then you will be able to draw whatever you want to draw in character designing. I'm specifically talking about the character designing. So character designing, it is a very difficult part. When you are making godrej, when you are making some objects, when you will make key, lock, or light, it is easy to make. But when you will go in figure drawing, yeah, and that means in character designing, it's a very difficult. And when you will go too much detail, in much detail, so it will take your lot time to practice. And also, it is very easy when you will uh, give your much time, and then after you will have a like a weapon, then you can draw whatever you want, whatever in perspective you can draw, right? So also, you can practice every day, and that is what I am trying to do every day. So okay, how to create characters with distinctions and personality. Facial expressions, how to portray emotions with power and precision. So facial expression, it is interesting. When you will start your comic book, you will need all these steps like facial expression. Some persons are sad and some persons are looking happy, right? In our daily life, we are sometimes we are happy or sometimes we are sad, and that is what we have to draw in our comic book, so that the comic will look like a, you know uh, it will connect you with the picture, right? So that is why we have to learn also facial expressions. I started a book, I forgot the name again, sorry. So in that book I learned so many facial expressions and how to deal with the readers, with the facial expressions, and how the one person and the another person will talk with each other with the feelings in that comic books, and what will be their facial expressions, right? Body language, how to make sure that every figure you draw has a story to tell. Master these elements plus the effective use of words coming up in chapter 3, and you can give birth to characters that readers will believe in and remember for years to come. Character designing, so again we are going in detail, I think. How you design your characters has a lot to do with style and personal preference. Once again, there is no right or wrong way to do it. Some characters are born as doodles in a sketchbook, some are improvised in the middle of the story, some are convinced in the script stage, maybe to be visually designed by others. There are three qualities that no great comics characters can do without: hard at work, mm, again, okay, but no matter what sequence of steps brings them to life. An inner life, a unique history, worldview, and desires. Visual distinctions, a distinct and body memorable body, face, and wardrobe. Expressive traits, traits of speech and behavior associated with that character. Let's take a closer look at each. Creating a complete inner life for your characters may be the most important and least understood aspect of character creation. So what he's saying, let me read again. Creating a compelling inner life for your character may be the most important and least understood aspect of character design creation. Okay, beginners know that each character needs a personality. Who is the one on the fridge, honey? Is the main one. But often that means a list of behavioral traits without a specific origin or unifying purpose. So basically, he's talking about the personality. The personality is also very important when you are making character. When they I think every character have their own facial expressions, because every face has um, actually every personality, sorry, every man has their own personality, right? Like I have my own personality. I am doing something in my way and you are doing something in your way, and that is what you like, that's why you are doing in that way. And also I'm doing whatever I am doing, I just because of I like that way, and that is why I'm doing like that way, right? So every person has their own personality, and the personality have something, like some many of the times I'm being angry, so my personality is different, when you are when someone person also, you will see some many of the times they are being happy, they are be happy, so they have their own personality, right? So when will you make your comic strip, you will have different personality persons and they have their own expressions, right? So that is what the personality is important. but often that means a loss of behavioral traits without a specific origin or unifying purpose. By going deeper into characters' minds, we can look for those factors that give them a reason for everything they do and say. Okay, what he's saying, when you will make a character for your, let's say for your comic strip, you are making a character, then definitely you should have a fixed reason, so that you will be talk on the reference of that topic. On agenda should be clear, what kind of your character is, what kind of personality is, will have that character, so that you will be able to be continue in your comic strip page by page, right? So that is what he's doing, is he's saying, and help us predict that they will do in any given situations. Did someone say ice cream to such an extent that they virtually write themselves? A good place to start is with your characters' life histories. Where were where were your characters raised? What kinds of parents did they have? What's the best thing that ever happened to them? And the roast worst. Who were their heroes? What were their struggles? All these things and more can help shape who they are. Just consider your own history and how it shaped you. So what he's saying, the whatever you have the character and you gonna draw them, so they have some mm, reason, so that you will be able to continue with your character in every comic strip. Finding common ground between the experiences of your characters and those of the readers can help emotionally contact them. While the differences in life experience between one character and another can trigger many stories. A character raised in poverty, or for example, may have trouble relating to a shopping addicted heroes. The son of a fundamentalist minister might find romance problematic with the daughter of an anthropologist. A runner who has been on the winning side all his life might approach a competitions differently from a runner fighting to overcome a life filled with losses. These life histories or backstories don't have to be elaborate, especially for minor characters. In fact, obsessing too much over such details in a classic beginner's mistake. But be on the lookout for factors that color your characters' everyday outlooks, help or hinder their understanding of others, and influence their actions. In other words, concentrate on the detail that shapes who they are today. Okay, so when will you make the characters, you will have different personality character, and every character will have their own personality, and they will have some reason, specific reasons, like they will have some backstories, so that you can draw them or onto the page, and you can share the story, what they want, what actually happened with him, or if you can make your own story and you can say what actually happened with him or her, and also what I see, uh, earlier when I started some comic strips, I saw, 1 minute please. You will have a character and you gonna make something on that, and you will write something about the character, so don't go in much detail that time. If you have some for your minor character, I'm not talking about the main character. So also keep in mind, and also, so that you will be able to the manage the story, you will not go in much detail in the story. You just want to convey the story, right? So that's why you have to be aware for that, so that it will save your time. Okay, now moving further. Sometimes a single life changing event can become a character's defining moment. Definitely, if something is happening with the character, like a very worst condition that happened with the character, that time the character will feel like something gonna be happen different, so also in your comic you can make these kind of events. Peter Parker's first impulse when getting his unique power was not to fight crime at all, but to make money as a celebrity. Right. Only after Peter's uncle is murdered by a crook he had earlier refused to catch as Spider-Man. Does Peter understand that with great power comes great responsibility and embark on the difficult path of doing good? Although rare in real life, such emotional big bangs have proved usual over the years as a source of many superheroes' origin story, including Lee and Ditko's 196 origin for Marvel Comics Spider-Man. With their hero's moral burden firmly stabilized, writers had a field day throwing one thorny moral dilemma after another at the poor guy, generating a long run of successful story. They knew that as many stories could stem from conflict under the mask as out the street. Our history affects how we see the world. How we see the world affects what we want and expect from the world. And when those desires and expectations collides with the desires of others or with the nature, that's the source of many of the best stories ever told. In school we are taught that stories really rely on conflict, and that some conflicts are internal while some are external. Conflict means fighting, right? Track them to their source, though, and nearly all conflicts are internal because they all start with the someone and somewhere wanting something. Yeah, I think it is right. Wherever there are lots of stories, and some of the stories I have read in my life, and that is also, it it was there was conflicts, a conflict something, and that using that they made the story. You know, well, okay. We can add to a change character's personality all we want. Make them kind hearted or witty or sentimental or neurotic. So you can make your own character personality. As I told you earlier, you can make a angry person or happy person or a sad person, not for every moment, but also it seems like when you are making comics and you want to be continue with the angry person, like the Hulk in the Marvels. You can see the Hulk is an angry person, but that was not in every, every scene that was not angry, but known as the angry person. But it's only when they start to want something that those traits are set in motion and given a purpose. Everybody is a hero in their own mind. fully realized characters don't see themselves as a part of your story at all. Whatever you throw at them is just part of their own story, and how it affects them is their primary measures of each moment's importance. Wow, how beautifully the author said this. Like, what we are hero in our mind. Like, I remember when I was kid, that time I was thinking every person is different from me. I am a, I want to say, I'm a different from the another person. Whoever in this earth, on this earth, they are different. They are not like me. I was thinking I'm a great person, and I was thinking like I'm a hero, you know, a different kind of hero, and that is not every person. Whatever was happening with me, I was taking as I'm the hero. Like, sometimes someone was abusing me and someone was hurting me. That time also I was thinking I am the hero, and that's why I'm facing off all these problems, and facing these good condition also, you know. So that is what was happening with me, and I think almost every child thinks about the same thing. And how it affects them is their primary measures of each moment's importance. Most writers put a bit of themselves into every character. Most writers put a bit of themselves into every characters, which can add warmth and credibility to a story, but can also dull the variety of a cast if taken too far. One way to bolster that variety is to base each cast member on a different uh, unifying idea. That's what I did in the early boss when I partially modeled the four main characters for my first comic book series, Chart, after Carl judging four proposed types of human thought: Jot intuition, Jenny feeling, Peabody, Butch sensation. Sounds weird, I know, but because of that I could predict how each characters would react in any given situations. Hey guys, wanna crash the Oscar? Sure, why not? Is that the right thing to do? 37% chance of success. I'm hungry. Archetypes from myth and legends, like the old wise man, the hero, or the trickster, can also be used to ensure a variety of desires and worldviews. Something you want to tell me, Harry? The ring must be destroyed. Use the force luck, while tapping into universal values that transcend any one genre of culture. Human beings are complicated creatures with lots of subtle variations. Capturing that subtle and complexity is a challenge many modern cartoonists are trying to meet, especially in the graphic novel moment. So the author is saying human beings are complicated creatures with a lot of subtle variation. So let me tell you, I don't think so. I think if you will, yeah, maybe it, yeah, okay, I accept it is a quite bit difficult to understand the human being, but but it is possible, you know. It is possible to understand the human being, and after understanding this you can deal with the human. And I think since lots of years we haven't studied the human being, you know, we haven't studied the human being, and that's why we are not able to deal with the human being. Okay, let it go. I'm not going to into the detail, but if you will ask me in further video, I will tell you why I said this. The reliance on a single theme for a character's inner life may seem to run against that ambition. Okay, it is interesting what he's saying. The reliance on a single theme for a character's inner life may seem to run against that ambitions, and it can if using such themes just produces characters mired in cliches and story stereotypes. But even broadly conceived characters can evoke subtler aspects of the human conditions through their interactions with one another. The idea is not to simplify a characters at all, but to ensure by whatever means what your cast of characters represents a full spectrum of approaches to life, because without that variation your characters are not going to have much to talk about. One of the reasons we all love stories is that they offer proposals for life's meaning and purpose. By presenting characters with competing philosophies of life, you can offer a triangulated polar picture of the world your characters live in. And for all the beautiful art of wordplay you might deliver, it's that picture of the world that your readers may remember best. Of course, comics is a visual medium, so that internal variety of characters types will need an outward variety of visual designs to match. Variety and distinction in characters design are important for a few reasons. On a purely practical level, they help the reader keep track of who is who. A cast of characters that all look the same can be confusing, and even if details like facial hair and clothing are thrown into a distinguish them, too much similarity in characters' underlying appearance can lead to a bland cookie cutter look. Some strives to make every one of their characters beautiful, and in doing so rely on the same ideal face and body repeatedly. But beauty is more effective when given a basis for comparison, and there are many different kinds of beauty to choose from. Now, drawing people is hard for for the time being. Now I'm going to stop. So it is in very detail, so we will cover in next video. Maybe I will have to make 2 3 extra videos so that we can finish the chapter 2. So that's for the today's guys. See you in the next video. Till then, bye. Thank you.